The clock hits 0 minutes left, and you still have 10 questions to answer on your writing and language section of the SAT. This causes you to build up more stress as you didn't finish, and you will lose points from your total score. However, you're in luck. The college of your choice is not requiring a standardized test for college admission. Despite your college not requiring a standardized test, other students aren't so lucky when looking for a college. Colleges should look into the mental, cultural, and logistical effects brought on by standardized testing and should consider not requiring them for college admission. Let's pick up our pencils and start the first math section of the SAT. The timer is now set for 25 minutes, but in the meantime, we will travel to the brain to look at the mental effects. According to edtopia.org, cortisol levels, a stress-induced chemical in the brain, rose over 15% when taking the SAT. Students who have a rise in cortisol levels begin to break down, causing their test performance to drop. High cortisol levels can cause poor concentration and form many burnouts with other academic activities outside of testing. Also from edtopia.org, Nancy Hamilton, a professor of psychology at the University of Kansas, formed a research study into detailing the damaging effects that standardized tests have on young adults. She found that students who had a rise in high anxiety formed poor sleeping patterns and had poor academic behaviors. Laura Lee Kearns, a professor at St. Francis Xavier University, who is a professor of education, found that students were shocked by test failure and felt humiliated. These standardized tests can cause increases of anxiety and soon lead to depression and low self-esteem in the future. Phew, the first math section is officially down. Now we can take a quick 5-minute break. Here, we're able to get up and talk to other students about the cultural effects. According to Brookings.edu, Black and Latino students who come from poorer backgrounds often suffer from lower test scores because they cannot receive a good education. This often forms many different race gaps among their peers. About 59% of white and 4/5 of Asian test takers met the 2020 college readiness benchmark, compared to less than a quarter of Black and less than a third of Latino students who met that same benchmark. Also, from the National Education Association, they have done extensive research in the discrimination on standardized tests. People who come from a wealthier and more educated family will often have better educational opportunities and higher testing scores compared to those who come from poorer backgrounds. Not only can these tests affect those who come from a poorer background and have a poor education, it can also affect those who have learning disabilities and those who are categorized as English language learners. 5 minutes are up, and now it's time to sit back down and start the final section of our test. The timer is set for 55 minutes. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, colleges nationwide have started to get rid of standardized tests. But why is that? These tests are supposed to measure whether a student is academically prepared for the challenging college coursework. However, these tests do not fully cover what a student may be going through at home or at school. NBC News did an interview with Kawati Smith, a Los Angeles high school senior who spoke out against the SAT, stating, "It does not account for my experiences, good and bad." Testing scores do not fully reflect how academically prepared a student may be, especially if they're experiencing homelessness or death like Smith had. Students can also be denied scholarships as they have to meet a certain SAT score requirement and maintain a certain GPA to go along with it. As you look back at your answers and are satisfied, you can sit and relax, and you have 10 extra minutes. As you relax, you look around the room and it feels a little different. One thought continues to flow throughout your mind. Why did you even take this test even though it's not required by every college? That is one thing opponents would argue. These tests, like the SAT and ACT, are required by colleges to make sure a student is academically prepared for their work. Students can even earn scholarships for meeting the SAT and ACT score requirements. Taking these tests can also boost your chances of getting into the college of your choice and help the college know that you're interested in them and prepared for the work. The timer finally counts down to 0 and you're officially done with your test. Even though you finished, you feel burnt out and your brain is like mush. You were worried about the outcome as you did not finish all the questions. Let's take a quick recap into why standardized tests shouldn't be used for college admission. In the beginning, we traveled to the brain and saw how high levels of cortisol levels can increase anxiety. Then we took a quick break and talked to other students about the cultural effects. And finally, we looked into the logistical effects on standardized testing. Even though students can receive scholarships from taking these even though students can get scholarships for meeting the SAT and ACT score requirements, not every student is able to make these testing requirements and can be denied scholarships. It's time to rethink how we can help students become academically prepared for college rather than relying on these tests.